Yeah, he had a great off season. He's just back 2 practices now because he was out for a few weeks. So he's working his way back into form, working his way back into shape. He missed almost 3 weeks, I think, with his elbow. So yeah, he had a great off season, and now it's going to be a little time before he's probably back to that form, just because he's been out.
What changed though? Do you think in his?
Ironically, I think the biggest thing was his health, which that's what come back from that now. But I think health and confidence. I think they kind of went hand in hand, and just being able to have months on the court and working on his skills. We were trying to do that in season, trying to get him healthy and work on his game and play major college basketball for the first time. So that was a lot. I thought he handled it well, but really the off season he did a really good job of working hard, working on the right things. So I thought he made a lot of strides forward. And now it's like anything else. When you're off, you just gotta build that back. It just doesn't come back
He's
right
been
away.
back for a few weeks, right?
No, just this week.
What do you think he brings to the table? He's a big guard. He looks like he can be a good defender and get to the like. What do you think his strengths are as a player? As he develops further.
Yeah, his versatility is key. He can play 1, 2, 3 for us. Defensively, he's really, really good on the ball. We're trying to get him locked in, like most young players, when the ball's away from them, being in the right place and staying alert, staying in your stance. But we're looking for overall improvement from him. I think he's been finishing better at the rim. I said he can be a secondary ball handler for us. So I think he can play probably 1, 2, and he's strong enough. He could probably play some forwards, the guys that pick and pop. So his versatility is very valuable. And just got to make sure that we keep the game simple for him. Sometimes versatility, you try to do too many things. You really want to just do what the play dictates, and always play to his strengths and stay away from his weaknesses. He's been doing a good job of that.
Is it fair to expect the same starting lineup you had against Baruch to start tomorrow?
Not necessarily. We've been really trying to mix and match. I'm really in practice, really tinkering. We've been really mixing our lineups around. I think we talked about versatility and being able to play with a deeper bench, a different look. So I wouldn't read into much, especially early on, who starts and things like that. We're really trying to mix and match, trying to see what not only the best combinations are, but also trying to figure out, starting the game is one thing, having a nice punch off the bench is another, being able to maintain that pace. So we'll probably tinker around with that, especially early in the season.
Do you have a preference of how many guys you play? Would you like to have a rotation of 8 or 9, or do you think you can go even deeper than that?
A lot of that will depend on the game itself, matchups, score, who's playing well. So, but we have 10 guys I think can contribute. Again, depending on the other team's roster, their style of play, how we're going to approach that. That'll vary. Well, I know they're very athletic. They're going to push tempo. They're going to get out and try and shoot threes and gang rebound, especially on the offensive end, try an offensive rebound. Play a lot of multiple defenses. So again, we'll do more scouting today. We did a little bit yesterday, but really, like most games. But I think probably tomorrow turnover is going to be key because they're going to try and force the tempo and try and get us into a kind of a helter-skelter mode. So taking care of the ball and then rebounding, which pretty much every night is important.
Just how eager your guys have talked about how long they've been waiting for this night. Especially the guys who went through last year. How eager are you though to get started? After how difficult last year was to get through.
I'm pretty. I'm excited for them, and I think to me it's always nice to know that you put in quality effort, and practice time, and the game's the way you try and show that off, right? Try and perform But again, much like throughout my career, you know, I never had a hard time looking at the schedule and understanding as it's laid out, that's how you deal with it. You know, I don't really get more excited for game one than you know, like when we had opening night, I know it was, you know, in the NBA there's this firework, but game two is pretty much the same. You know, same 40 minutes, and so I think staying focused on the task at hand is what it's about. You know, understanding, you know, it's cool to get excited and hyped up and all that, but understand your responsibilities and being able to stay focused on them is probably more key. But I do understand the excitement and the anticipation and all that, but part of your job too is to stay focused.
Can you just sense in that locker room just how, especially the guys who were on the team last year, how eager they are to kind of show what kind of players they are?
Yeah, and I think it's important not to try and show everything on like one possession, you know, and I think, you know, with these young guys, you know, it's also, they might have a vision of what excitement is, then it's another thing, this is going to be their first time doing it, so I think their vision and actually what it is sometimes is not identical. So I just think it's important to use that energy and enthusiasm in the right way. And probably my thing would just, and then stay focused.
You guys have kind of explained that to them already, or not yet?
No, I think a lot of that comes with training. You know, that's why we practice, and that's why we try and drill and try and maintain a level of sanity.
You know, there are expectations. Everyone believes you guys upgraded the roster talent-wise. Is it fair for the expectations to be that you could double up on wins from last year?
Yeah, again, I've been around long enough. I'm not quite sure. I guess I do know where they come from, but I've never really had a bearing on like what I do. You know, so to me, I always go back to the preparation, and when you can follow through on that, that's going to be okay. You know, so like I said, you know, there's expectations and predictions on everything. We see how that can be not come true.
Let me put it this way.
Not just in sports.
How do you feel right now compared to how you felt a year ago to this day?
Oh, I couldn't remember how I felt yesterday.
Do you feel more, though, do you feel more personally prepared for this and ready, considering you have a year under your belt now?
Yeah, I feel the team's more prepared because we had a summer together. You know, again, I get back to that. When you say prepared is all about practice. That's what it is. It's practice. So having more practice with more bodies makes me feel better.